guys, and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to 2020. That sounds crazy. How was it the new year already? How was like 2019 over? Like, what? I swear, like, as you get older, like, the years just keep going like faster and faster. It's currently like New Year's Eve while I'm filming this. I always like to do one of these videos to start off my channel for the new year, because I just think it's kind of a fun thing to do, and I think it's important to look back on and reflect on the previous year and how things went and what you could have done differently, and kind of just setting yourself goals that you want to achieve for the following year. Basically, as you can tell by the title, this is like a reflections and goals video from 2019 to 2020. I've done multiple videos of these in the past, so if you want to go and watch some more, I'll link the playlist down below in the description. Yeah, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So I've written them all down on my phone. Okay, so let's start off with the reflections for 2019. So the first thing I wrote down was that I got bronze in my coffee. So basically the way my cafe works is, obviously we have a coffee machine, as most cafes do. When you train up to do the coffees, you have to do theory online, and you have to pass with bronze to be able to be on the machine more, actually know what you're doing and know about the coffee that we serve. I filled out all of the questions online and I got bronze, and I feel very happy about it, because that means obviously I can be on the machine a little bit more, which is great because we have like a couple of baristas that are leaving, so a couple of us need to step up and fill in their shoes. I got a pay rise, so I have been at my job since the end of January, so at the end of next month it'll be, or end of this month, by the time this video goes up, it will have been a year that I've been working at that job. So about halfway through the year I got a pay rise, because obviously my boss can see that I'm working hard. We moved apartments and got internet straight away. So Phil and I used to live in kind of a bad apartment. It was very damp, a lot of our stuff got wrecked, and it just was not a healthy environment to be living in. We had to jump through a lot of hoops to move to this apartment that we're in now, which is a lot better because we broke our old flatting contract early. So if you're not familiar with flatting, you're either in a flat for usually it's like a fixed term of either 6 months or a year. So we were locked into that other place for a year, but it was just so bad. It just was not a good time, and the air in it was very stale. There were not very many windows, they weren't that big, so we wanted to get out of that, but obviously in doing so that meant we had to pay a lot of money to get out of our contract early, which in reality we probably could have got out of it anyways because the flat was not suitable to live in. Anyways, long story short, the property manager of that place is the property manager of this place, so we basically just said to her, we want to move out, have you got anything else that you can show us, because otherwise we're going to take it further. And then she obviously panicked and found us this place and showed us it, and we really liked it. It is quite a bit more in rent than our other place, but this place has been perfect. We've been managing our bills actually really well here, because if you guys are new to the channel, by the way, I live with my boyfriend, so we've been living together for a year and a half. I'm 21, he's 21. We both turned 22 this year by the time this video goes up. It's just the two of us that live together, so obviously we've got rent, we've got power, we've got groceries, we've got internet, we've got my car, so we've got a lot of bills that we have to kind of take care of, which at first it was really hard moving into this place because it was a big adjustment from our old place, because obviously we've got the washing machine here, we've got a dishwasher, and we didn't have a dishwasher at our old place. I definitely feel a lot better living in this place. I'm a lot more proud of living in this place. I think this place has really made Phil and I as a couple stronger. I've been able to do and buy a lot of stuff that I really wanted to buy at the old place that I procrastinated buying. I'm still in my, not in my dream city because we don't live in Auckland, but in the area that I live in, I'm in the, like, the best area that I can be. I feel very happy, and we also got internet at this place straight away. Now if you guys watch any of my other videos where we were at our other flat, you will know that it took us about 8 months to get internet, which was ridiculous. But basically, to have internet, your flat needs to have like a phone jack cord that works. And I don't think any of the other, there was only a couple of other places in the actual entire building itself that had internet. Our specific apartment didn't have a phone jack, so Phil went out and bought a phone jack and tried to hook it up, but he didn't want to wreck it, obviously, so he called the internet company that we were with and they said they'd come around and do it. But then they came around and I think they attached it, but then they said that they needed to get approval from our property manager. Like, she had to sign that we had to have internet in the place, and like everybody else in all the other flats had to sign to say that we could have internet. So like we tried getting her to sign it and sending it through or whatever, but they were basically just making so many excuses for us to get internet that it was just a big pile of shit basically. And then we moved to the internet company that we're with now, who more or less hooked it up like the next day. They just said, yep, cool, that's fine, we'll hook it up. Now that we've moved over here, our internet got hooked up here straight away, and we have fiber here, which I'm very happy about, because obviously fiber is like the fastest internet that you can get. So obviously that makes uploading my videos very quick. So it's definitely helped. And that's another thing here as well, is my YouTube channel has not suffered, because last year, because we didn't have internet, I was having to go to an internet cafe to upload all of my videos. But we tried to go back there not long ago when why did we have to go there? I think our internet still was, like, it was about to be hooked up, but it wasn't hooked up yet, and they'd closed down. Now that I live here and we've got internet, obviously that's not an issue. So overall it was a very like positive change for Phil and I moving here. So the next kind of two things I've written down kind of tie in together. So the first thing is that I got a job, and the second thing is that I got a second job throughout the months of August to October. So if you guys have been on my channel for a while, then you'll know, but if you're new here, then you won't know. So I was doing hairdressing for 2 years before I left at the end of last year, which was a big decision for me because it meant that I wasn't employed, which meant I had to find another job like ASAP, because obviously I lived with Phil and we lived out of home, so we had like bills and stuff to pay. Which, by the way, I keep getting questions about why I left the salon, so I feel I should do a whole story time on it. So if you are interested in that video and you want to know a bit more about it, then let me know in the comments and I can film that video for you guys, because I feel like that would be very helpful for a lot of people. I left the salon, I quit my hairdressing job, and I ended up getting a job in hospitality, which I am absolutely loving. I've got the best managers possible, and one of my managers I have grown up with. I was best friends with her when I was 7 up until we were about in high school. So I've known her for a very long time, and she was actually the one that hooked me up with the job. So Chrissy, if you're watching, a big thank you to you. She was in Vlogmas Day 16 when I had my whole staff dinner. She like talked in it and I said that was my manager. So yeah, that's Chrissy, who I've known like my entire life. Obviously that made things a lot less stressful, and that's currently still where I am now. I still don't really know what I want to do job wise, so I'm just kind of working there until I figure it all out, and just so I can like save some money and stuff. So the second part of that was that I got a second job throughout the months of August to October. So basically I was working in another hospitality job in the evening, which I ended up leaving, which I talked about in one of my sit down videos, so I'll link that video down below where I talk about that more in depth. Me and the boss left on good terms. I've seen her since, and she was like very lovely to Phil and I. The money definitely helped each week, having a little bit extra, but it did make me very exhausted. But yeah, I just felt really proud that I was holding down 2 jobs for a few months. I also wrote down keeping up with bills, but I've kind of already like touched on that a little bit. My last reflection that I've written down is that Phil and I booked a hotel room for the first time, which I know is kind of like a minuscule thing, but for us that is a really big deal, because whenever we've gone away on holiday, we've always gone to stay with like family or like people that we know. So I actually vlogged the trip. It was our new Plymouth and Palmy vlog, so if you missed that, I'll link that down below. But the hotel in Palmy was the first time that Phil and I had booked something that wasn't at a family's place. It was supposed to just be Phil and I in Palmy, but then his dad and his stepmom ended up needing to come down for like getting their car fixed or something, so we ended up hanging out with them, but like we stayed in that hotel room ourselves and we booked it, and it was really nice. We stayed at the Quest, if anyone's Wondering, which is a 4-star hotel, and it was just a really nice experience. So it definitely made me feel a lot more like grown up. Okay, now we move on to the future plans for 2020. So the first thing I've written down is quite a big thing, and it's something that I've touched on before on my channel, and that is I really want to get a tattoo. I know a few things of what I want to get. There are 3 that I know that I really want to get, which I'll probably end up vlogging it because it's quite like a big thing. I'm just so sick and tired of not having a tattoo. Every year I'm like, okay, I'll get a tattoo this year, but no, this year 2020 is the year that I'm gonna get a tattoo. Make sure you guys hold me to it, which obviously I'm over the legal age, so you have to be 18 here to legally get a tattoo, and I'm 21, so I've been the legal age for a good while. The next thing I wrote down is I want to be more productive and organized with our flat. So I've got a few kind of like declutter and organizational type videos planned for 2020. One of them is organizing the bathroom cupboard and sorting out my beauty drawer, because I have so much shit in there that I just need to organize and transfer everything over, and I want to like organize it properly with like little storage things from Kmart. I also want to organize my hair drawer of like hair accessories and brushes and stuff. And the big one that I want to do is I really want to organize the pantry, because at the moment we've just got like boxes of stuff everywhere, and it's just kind of annoying because like I have to like reach at the back to grab things, and then like I'm scared the bags are gonna break or whatever. I might do like a couple more like clothing declutters, because you guys seem to really enjoy those videos. That'll help with keeping the flat organized. I also want to make sure that we don't let our washing pile get too big, and that we take clothes off the line when they're actually dry, because Phil and I have a really bad habit of just like bringing in like item by item when we actually need it when it's on the line and it's dry. So it just makes sense to bring it all in at once, fold it and put it away, and then we've got the entire line free for like wet clothes. I also want to make sure that we have the bench clear when we go to bed. So our kitchen bench gets so cluttered and so dirty very quickly, because we just leave all the dishes on the bench for like days and we just don't do them. Obviously having the dishwasher helps, but like anything we have to hand wash kind of just piles up. So I just kind of want to like introduce the idea of like when we go to bed that we get all of the like cleaning for that day kind of done. I'm sorry if the camera's changed slightly. My camera battery just died, so I've had to put a new one in. But yeah, that's kind of all for like organizing my flat, and I just kind of want to make sure it doesn't get too cluttered, so just constantly like decluttering things and taking them to like charity shops and stuff. The next thing I wrote is to pay off half my loan. So I've got a car loan currently, and I'm bringing it down. I just want to cut it in half to what it is now, just so I won't have too much to pay off. And on the note of money, I also want to save $1,000. So whether that's going to be for just $1,000 in general, whether that's going to be for a baby, whether it's gonna be for a wedding, I don't really know. I just kind of want to like save and plan ahead, just so Phil and I can kind of be a little bit more stable than we are, which I mean we're pretty stable at the moment, but yeah, just to kind of make sure that we're still kind of keeping on track, or just in case anything goes wrong, then we've just got that extra $1,000 there just to kind of help. The next thing I wrote is to finish the Harry Potter series. So I'm currently on the 4th book, but I just want to make sure that I get through the rest of them before the end of 2020. Just because I've been wanting to read the series for a really long time. I really love Harry Potter. I love all the movies, and I have loved every single book that I've read so far. J.K. Rowling writes really well. And I think I also just want to kind of read more in general. I've kind of slacked off a little bit in 2019 with my reading, so I just kind of want to make sure I kind of pick it back up a little bit. And the last thing that I wrote down that I want to do in 2020 is start journaling. My what I got for Christmas video will be the video that comes up after this, but basically my sister got me the gratitude journal, which if you watched my Christmas wish list video you will know is something that I really wanted to receive. I just think because I've got like different like headings and different like number of bullet points for each thing that you can write down, I just think it will kind of help to kind of just clear my head. I don't know, I just know that journaling is really good for your mental health, and I know a lot of people swear by it and a lot of people really like doing it. So I thought I'll give it a go. I don't want to limit myself to make sure I do it every single day, because I've tried that in the past and it hasn't worked, and a lot of my like diary writing back in the day was very negative because I wasn't really going through the most positive stuff back in the day, but now I actually feel I am at a good place mentally, and I feel very happy with how my life has turned out, and I'm very grateful for everything that I do have. And considering how young I am, and considering how much I have already achieved and how well Phil and I are doing for 21-year-olds, I do feel really grateful. So I just kind of want to make that a little bit more prominent and just write it down every day, just so that if I have a bad day I can read it and remind myself that things aren't actually as bad as I think they are in my head, because they're really not. And then if Phil and I do get engaged this year, which Phil has told me will happen before the end of this year, then I also want to start planning our wedding. So there we go, guys. That is everything that I have written down for my reflections and my goals. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it may have possibly inspired some of you to do the same and write down everything that you achieved in 2019 and everything you want to achieve in 2020. Let me know your goals down below for 2020. I'd love to hear what they are, and I'd love to get some more inspo. Obviously I'll have more goals and stuff throughout the year as the year goes on, but these are just the things that I have been writing down for the past couple of months that I want to achieve for 2020. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you turn on the notifications. It's just a little bell next to the subscribe button. It just helps you get notified every time I upload, because YouTube doesn't always tell you now because they've changed the algorithm. Please check out my social media. It's all linked down below in the description box. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you want to watch any more of these videos, then I'll link the playlist down below. So I will see you guys again very soon for another video. Bye. I just feel so tired. Why is my battery flashing at me?